The market dropped yesterday and it's still down today. Hello my friends, it's Legend. If you've seen the market lately, you know that we had a big red day yesterday. Market fell out. The Fed came out and spoke, and well, they do what they do best, and the market fell. I know the S&P dropped 20 bucks, and of course MSTY is no exception to that. MSTY itself, as you can see, of course, this here, that big drop right there, that's from that same time period, and they did go ex-dividend today. So this morning I did buy shares, and I got my shares at $31.50 per share. And of course, this is one of those days, if you would have waited until the end of the day, I would have got a better price at a $28.66. So it did fall out a little bit more. But, you know, you never know. I usually look, and if there's a big red candle for that day, I'll go ahead and make my purchase that day, because normally it does recover. But the market has been going down, and of course it is affecting the stocks. So let's just check the Webull chart here, and I'll show you a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So here we are on the Webull chart. Got the S&P SPY pulled up right now. This is the S&P 500, and as you can see, yesterday we were setting out around about 605, and then when the Fed came out at about 2 o'clock or so, I think it was, they announced about the interest rates, and of course there it fell. So of course the market went from that 605 and it went as low as 583.16 just that afternoon before market close. So the market just fell out, and of course that's what happened to MSTY and along with everything else. If you had stocks, I imagine for that last half of yesterday for sure, it was probably red. It did try to recover a little bit after hours, and then it fell back down a little bit more for today, and that's the S&P 500. So if we look at MSTY, followed right along with everything else and then fell on down too. Here's that big drop right here that we had after the Fed came out. That dropped out. It tried to recover after hours and fell back down even more, right? So everything, all the charts looking very similar. So this here, to me, in my opinion, and my opinion only, this is all very much news driven. Now, could we be seeing a little bit more of red coming? We could, but again, it's a big shock for the market, and that's what happens whenever the market gets that shock. They react, sell off, or whatever, and of course that brought the price way down. So as I said before, when I got into it early morning, I got in right here at this about 31.50, I think it was, right there. I figured, you know, I'd get that, because normally what it will do is it'll come back up and recover what it lost for that ex-dividend that it paid out or will pay out. But today, because of the whole news and the market continually to move down, it did move on down. Well, let's check to see what Bitcoin is doing as well. All right, as you can see here on Bitcoin for the day, it's down, it's dropping down. We're back below that 100,000. We're at 97,000 again. So with MSTY being heavily into Bitcoin and Bitcoin dropping some, that will affect the price of MSTY. So it all kind of makes sense of why it's down. But, you know, it is what it is, right? The market's down. Gotta take the red with the green. Sometimes it's good days, sometimes it's bad days, but that's all right. Never invest more than you can handle to lose, of course, because if you do invest too much, then you start getting really worried and stressed, and that just means, in my opinion, that you've invested too much into a certain stock. I do have a few of the Yieldmax ETFs, and I am long on those. But these down days, I mean, to me, it's a buy time, right? For me, I like the dollar cost average in. Now, I'm not buying every time this thing's down. I will buy on the ex-dividend date, and that's when I make my purchase. So I missed the bottom but I got in at the 31.50. We'll see how it reacts and goes throughout the next few weeks, and we'll see what the dividend is the next time. So I'm just still dollar cost averaging in on ex dividend date, and not really too worried about it myself, because overall, if you ever get curious if a stock is making money, if it's profitable or not, it's always best to kind of zoom out a little bit. And we'll just kind of zoom out here on the Webull chart, and then we'll look on the Morningstar chart and see what it actually looks like. So if I go out to a 1-year chart, as you can see, it's still going up. We are having this big red time right here. And it looks like we have maybe a support about a 27.60. Looks like that's a support that it did come down and then bounced off. We'll see if it can hold that. If not, it may come on down. And again, if it does, we may ride it back up. It really depends on how the market's going to react in the next little bit. But we do have the center rally coming up, so we might still get a nice little pop going into the Christmas season. So let's check out the Morningstar real quick and see how that looks overall. All right, so here we are on the Morningstar chart, and I've got the 5-day shown here. And, this is something that someone would see and start getting worried, right? You see this big, huge drop here, and you're thinking, oh crap, this MSTY is going to go under. But you have to kind of look at the big picture. All the other stocks also dropped, and I don't see the whole market going under and going to zero. So, MSTY is just reacting just like every other stock has been. So, I'm willing to give it a little bit of breathing room, right? Because if I take this and then I zoom on out and I look at a 1-year chart, it's still up and to the right, right? You look at a 3-month chart and it's still up and to the right. So, this one here, again, I'm still good with it. And I throw on the dividend, of course, just to give that a little bit better picture. And you can see we have that big drop here, but of course, everything else in the market dropped as well. Majority of stuff. I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of stocks did due to the Fed coming out yesterday. And if I look at the 1-year chart right here, look at this. I mean, when you factor in that dividend, it kind of eases your mind just a little bit. For me, it does. You have to decide on what is right for you, and you have to decide on what you want to invest in, how much you want to invest. For me, I keep a lower percentage of these type of ETFs, stocks, these high risk ones. I keep a smaller percentage of these, but I am looking at these as being long term for me, and especially MSTY. I see this one for myself to be a hold for a while. So I'm willing to take these red days, and if it stays down come in the next few weeks and it's ex-dividend date, I'll be buying at a better price. I have no problem with that. So for now, MSTY is down, but again, so is a lot of stocks. So I just kind of wanted to give everybody a little bit more of a better understanding, a bigger picture of what's going on, because if you're just looking at your MSTY shares and you're seeing this thing go down to 28 bucks, you're getting kind of worried, thinking, where's this thing going to go? And I can't tell you that it's going to turn around, of course. How far can it go? I think we all know how far it can go, but I don't see that happening for myself, and that is just my thoughts. But I'm okay with it. The market's just red right now. It's down, and it could continue to go down, but I'm willing to keep buying in on some of these Yieldmax ETFs, because again, I'm looking long term on this, and right now it is still profitable for me. That red line is still above where I paid for it, so I'm good. You have to do you, and you have to decide whether or not it's profitable for you and if it makes sense for you to stay in it or even to get in it, right? It is down, and the question could be, is this a good time to buy? Do your own research and decide whether or not it's time to buy for you. I did buy in. I bought some more shares. I did not catch the bottom. It is lower than my cost now, but you know, that is part of the game here. And I'm willing to take a little bit of a hit on the overall price, because when I factor in that dividend, I'm up. I'm positive on the play. So I'd like to look at the full picture and not just one piece of the pie. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. It'd be much appreciated, and hopefully this can help others who are in the MSTY, give them a little better picture of what is really going on, and the bigger picture of this is just not MSTY dropping. This is the entire market dropping. So, as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.